and a town. Well, the most anticipated social occasion of the century is now just weeks away, but the New Year's Eve bash may not go off with the bang that was intended. In fact, for many businesses, it may not go off at all. Exorbitant wage claims, problems of supply, and concerns about security have caused some in the hospitality industry to pull the plug on the celebrations.
Take your bookings already, and I've said no, I just won't do it.
That night, there might be a little bit too much lunacy running around town for us.
There's no doubt this 31st of December is unlike any to have come before. It's the night we've all been waiting for. It's the night of hype. But there's a flip side. John Doncaster runs a small restaurant in inner city Brisbane that won't be opening on the big night. And he predicts it'll be absolute bedlam come December 31.
Well, I don't feel I'll be able to give value for money to my customers.
Why that?
Because I can't get prices on produce that I'm going to have to put up. And the wage situation, it's very, very hard to get staff to work on normal wages. And if you've got to charge $80, $90 for a meal in a BYO restaurant, I just don't feel no matter what you serve people, you can give them value for money.
So for this small business, the problem is not for once customer traffic. It's good old supply and demand. Or more accurately, suppliers and wage demand. And suppliers, why aren't they giving you the prices at this stage?
Because they don't know what the price is going to be from their growers or their trawlers. There's already a price increase for the Christmas period for seafood. There always is. But who knows what the prices are going to be? I don't.
With wages reaching $55 an hour and bands asking for up to $2,400 or quadruple the normal rate, Restaurant and Catering Queensland says labour costs could be the final straw.
Everybody wants to put their services as an absolute premium for that evening. For that reason, some restaurants have opted not to open. It's just not worth it. Their market base will not support the additional prices that would have to be charged in order for that business to break even, never mind make a small profit for the evening. I think you will always have opportunities there. We have the taxis come out and say, we want a $20 additional flagpole for the night. At the end of the day, there's only so much that the consumers are going to be prepared to pay, millennium or no millennium.
And it's not just a problem at the small end of town. Some higher profile venues have scaled back their celebrations. One group of restaurants in Brisbane was offering a night of extravagance dubbed the Millennium Event. It featured exquisite food, fine wine, entertainment, even taxis home. But at $500 a head, it fell through. There just wasn't enough interest. The restaurants are now opening independently, as usual, a spokesman suggesting that many people seem to be opting for at-home celebrations. That's certainly how staff at the Townsville Sheraton read the public news. They've cancelled one of North Queensland's biggest annual events, the New Year's Eve Ball.
I believe there's a lot of restaurants closing all throughout Queensland and in Townsville, and I felt people will either be having their own parties at home or maybe just going to the Strand for that.
Axing the ball was also seen as a way to conserve power in the event of the Millennium Blackout. With in-house generators, other sections of the hotel and casino could be kept open. At the Treasury Casino, the lights will be on, but there'll be no one home. Not after 10 p.m. anyway. Safety there, the main concern.
The security of our employees, security of our patrons, and the security of these buildings are quite a big concern for us. We put a lot of time and effort and money into keeping these buildings up, and the crowds we get in here on a traditional New Year's Eve are quite a challenge for us. We're just concerned that this particular one, because of all the hysteria about it, will be partying a little bit too hard.
So do you think you're going to get actual assaults on staff because of the weights, the cabs, or what particular reasons led you to that?
Well, I think there's factors that tie into it. I mean, the taxi drivers are talking about their issues. They may or may not be available. The bus drivers are making noises. The police have already told us, unless it's life-threatening, don't call us. And, there's just a lot of factors in there that make us uneasy about what's the potential for what can happen that night.
Mr. Dreyser expects the casino will have to absorb a loss on New Year's Eve, and says other organisations are now considering their options.
I've talked to a few other operators. There's not too many businesses here that operate on the level we do. But they're all starting to think, exactly that. I mean, how much money am I going to make on New Year's Eve as opposed to the problems of crowd control, potential initial problems getting staff in. One thing I didn't mention earlier was my staff were saying, babysitters want $100 an hour, and all the attendance problems with getting in. And it's pretty much what's going on all over. And my feeling is New Year's Eve is going to turn out to be a bunch of kids or people coming down to watch the fireworks on the river and then going home to private parties. And there'll be a bit of a concert in the Queen Street Mall. I think that'll be good. But beyond that, I don't see the traditional venues, all of them opening.
So what will it be? Madness and mayhem, or the party of a lifetime? One thing is for sure, in 43 days the whole industry, all bloodshot eyes and pounding head, will be more than 1 year wiser and more than ready for its next challenge. Y2K +1.